All right, so let's just cut to the case. Here's how I accidentally made $10,000 in 1 month. And no, it's not selling Chinese garbage on Shopify. It's not starting an agency, which if you're a single person running an agency with no employees, you're just a freelancer. No, it's not copywriting, even though copywriting is kind of involved. It's not editing for other creators. It's not any of the other make money online offers that you see. It's not TikTok Shop or TikTok Creator Program. It's nothing like that. It's actually doing what I enjoy doing, which is just learning about my interests and making videos on it. And the reason I say accidentally made this amount of money because I didn't really do anything special to elicit this result. In fact, it's based on systems that I built months to even over a year ago that is still generating me money on a daily basis to this day. For social proof purposes, here is my 100,000 subscriber YouTube plaque. Look at that, so shiny. I'm reflecting my mic right into your retinas. Hopefully it didn't hurt too bad, but I'll tell you what, this doesn't mean shit. In fact, you could have 10,000 subscribers. You could have 5,000. You could have 1,000 subscribers. I'm not going to go below 1,000 because then that gets kind of hard. And trust me when I say this, I am just like you. I was just a little gamer, nerd kid growing up. I always had an interest in making content, making YouTube videos. But for the majority of my life, I saw little to no results. And even if you do get monetized on YouTube and start making money with ad revenue, it is sub 10% what you could be making if you do the thing that I'm going to teach on this nice, beautiful, big black board. So buckle in because this is straight knowledge. This is not edited for retention or anything. If you have a Zoom or TikTok brain rot, I suggest clicking off because I'm actually trying to help you and teach you, so there's going to be no fancy schmancy edits going on. So it's going to sound a little backwards, but we're not going to start by talking about my big, cool 190K subscriber YouTube channel, even though those numbers aren't that impressive. They could be much higher if I locked in at an earlier age. We're going to start with the product. You know, you're probably wondering, what the fuck are you selling that accidentally makes 5 figures a month? I know it sounds silly, right? But the product, what I sell, we would call digital assets. And what digital assets are is, like, imagine a physical asset. It could be a house, it could be a watch, it could be gold, it could be a car, even though it doesn't tend to hold its value. But it's like a nice collector car, it might hold its value. But the thing about physical assets, even though they're great, I recommend buying them, it's a good way to hedge against inflation and whatnot, is that with physical assets, you know, imagine a house. You spend all this time building a house or acquiring a house, or a watch. You spend all this time building a watch if you're a watchmaker. So yeah, let's say you build a house. It takes you all this time and effort. Got a nice door. You got 3 little windows, and yeah, you have your house, right? You build your house. You put all this time into it. You put all this money into it. All this knowledge because you have to learn how to build a house, and then you buy this house. You build this house, and then you sell it, which is cool, right? You sell it, your little transaction, and you make, you know, 500K, which that's a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. I'm not promising you 500K right off the bat, but it's certainly down the line if you just stick to it. I mean, success is literally just persistence times knowledge, and you acquire knowledge by being persistent. Even if you fail, it's not really a failure if you keep going. But anyways, you sell the house, you make 500K, and the house is gone. You have 500K, but you're starting from scratch because it was a physical asset. You had one. You sold it, and now it's gone. A digital asset is something you make. So this will be our digital asset, and it's going to be this little box. We're going to put a DA up in there. So you will put time, you will put knowledge, and the thing is, even though I've spent money to acquire knowledge, I've spent upwards of $7,000 on information, info products, coaching, consulting courses, things like that. You don't have to. I mean, my first product, actually the one that made the majority of this 10K, was made off of 10 to 15 books I read and just topics I learned about online because I was interested in them. But we'll say if you do want to put some money in there, you could put some money in there. You do not have to. And then you can sell it. And we'll say you price at $500, all right? It's $500 digital asset. But here's the thing. It's the internet, meaning the asset is infinitely replicable. You are not limited by quantity, whereas with physical assets, you're always going to be limited by quantity. Even if you're producing something, you have to invest a lot into producing. If you sell cups, you know, if you sell mugs or something like that, you have to keep making the mugs. This, you make it once, and it exists forever, and you can sell it infinitely over time and make, hypothetically, infinite amounts of money. Oh god, this eraser sucks. And maybe if I sell some more digital assets, I can buy an actual eraser for my big black board. So what all could be a digital asset? Well, a digital asset could be an ebook. You write an ebook about it could be literally anything. Whatever your interests are. Let's say you're super into knitting, you can make a knitting ebook. You can make a knitting course. You know, you discover your own special method to knit, or knit a little faster, or knit cool fancy things, a sweater for your friend, I don't know, something like that. Personally, I don't do knitting because I'm a man. I sell cool self-improvement stuff. That's my niche, by the way, personal development. One of the most competitive niches, by the way, so that makes the 10K even more impressive. You know, you have your ebook, courses, technically coaching, but coaching is selling money for time, so we're not gonna talk about coaching. You know, things that are like templates. For example, you could sell a Notion document, you could sell a document, a PDF, an audio file, anything that is literally digital content. It's essentially content behind a paywall. Real quick, I already know what you're thinking. Well, I don't know enough to sell my knowledge. I'm not that smart. I'm not that knowledgeable. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Unless you are a complete blank slate NPC human being, which if you were, you would not have clicked on this video, so I know that's not you. You're just like me pretty much. But if you are a true, authentic, multifaceted human being with interests, you have knowledge. You have all these different things that you've learned or that you're currently learning because you're interested in something. You're doing it and learning about it, and you can combine these things into a unique package that people want to pay for. One, because it's unique, and two, there's a lot of marketing tactics behind it to explain the value to the prospect, to the audience, the ideal customer profile, an ICP, little lingo for you there. But also, as I'm going to explain in a second, people will just buy because it's you. That exact same offer could be somewhere else, being sold by someone else, but they're going to choose you instead because that is the power of personal branding, but we're not quite there yet. Hang on. We're going to circle back to the products because I'm going to tell you literally exactly the things I sold and the amount I sold of them to make that cool, sexy 5-figure number that everyone wants to hit, but once you hit it, you're like, okay, now I want to make 5 times that, and then you hit that, and you're like, okay, now I want to make 100 times that, and 100 times that, 10 times that. 100 times that would be cool, eventually. I know people that do $1 million a month off info. But we need to talk about the funnel, because this is the magic, all right? You've probably heard of funnels if you learn anything about marketing and business, but typically funnels are not over-glorified, but overcomplicated. They're overcomplicated by people who want you to buy their funnel softwares or pay them to build your funnels for you, when in reality, if you have a strong personal brand and you do the path that I'm doing, which is through YouTube long-form content and being a digital sage, it kind of circumvents the need for any of that. So we're going to draw a funnel that eventually gets them to buy one of my digital assets, one of my paid digital products. And it starts up here at the top. And you could probably guess what the top one is. It's the YouTube channel. It's YouTube. It's long-form content, because the magic behind long-form content and the power of one YouTube view is that when you get one YouTube view, that person is sitting with you for 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, maybe even an hour, maybe even more than an hour. Maybe they go and binge all your content, and they like you so much, they said, I'm going to buy this guy's thing. I like him so much. I just spent the past 2 hours with him. I've done that to creators. I've bought courses after watching 1 or 2 20-minute videos from a creator. I've given them hundreds of dollars. So typically they come and they watch a YouTube video, and then they go to a lead magnet. A lead magnet, you probably know what that is, but it's essentially it's a digital product in some way, shape, or form that they pay for with their email. It's free, but in exchange, I get their email, and emails are extremely valuable because then you get to further create a relationship with this ICP. And because you do not control these platforms, you can get deleted like that. That's just how it is. That's just how we gotta play the game. We gotta circumvent that. But no one can ever take an email list from you. It's just a file on your computer that you can download and reuse at any time. Meaning, even if my YouTube channel got deleted, I have over 15,000 people that I could contact with the type of a keyboard, with the snap of my fingers in an instant. So they go to the lead magnet, and then they go to the email list. And then from the email list, they have, a sequence of emails. We're gonna write this here, sequence, where it's typically 1, 2, 3, maybe even up to 5 emails that just, you tell them about yourself, you tell your story, you kind of flex your authority a little bit, and then you subtly start to mention the paid thing that you're selling them, as well as explaining the problem that your paid thing is going to solve. And then what's cool is from right there, they might go and buy your paid thing. They might go and buy your paid thing straight from one YouTube video or a couple YouTube videos they watched. Or after the sequence, they get a couple newsletters, which is essentially me just sending out emails to my email subscribers where I'm just teaching something, telling a story, sharing something insightful, just trying to add a little bit of value to their life. But basically, it sends them to the page that offers the thing, and then it sells them the thing, and then they buy the thing, and it goes into that. The thing about all this, and this may sound complex, this is stupid easy. You could build this out in a day. The main thing is, with YouTube, the YouTube itself, the channel, my channel, is a funnel. Why? Because they watch one YouTube video, and they like it, and the algorithm knows they liked it, because the YouTube algorithm is really fucking good, and what does it do? Another video on their homepage. And maybe they watch that one, and then sometimes, because I have direct call to actions in the YouTube videos, that call to action will send them straight to the paid product as well. So even though it sounds complex, it's really not, because I just casually mentioned, hey guys, also if you want to reprogram your subconscious mind, be a better person, better focus, discipline, confidence, XYZ, you can check out Mental Mastery in the description. That's one of my offers. They click the link in the description, they go to the landing page, they pay for the thing. And because of this, I don't have to pay for ads to make money. So while yeah, I'm spending a little bit of my time making these YouTube videos and a lot of upfront time making that digital asset, the course that I sell, it's really, once you build it once, like I said when I explained the digital assets, the difference between this and a house, you build it once, you sell it forever. And furthermore, if you want me to get a little sappy with you, to be honest, because I sell things that are information based, they buy it and it directly benefits their life, and they have these success stories, and it makes you feel all warm inside, compared to these people that drop ship Chinese garbage to people and sell through like Instagram ads or TikTok ads or whatever. And it's like, cool, you sold an LED, or you sold a fun little LED frisbee for 5x the price they could have got it on AliExpress. It's not very fulfilling. It's also not fun compared to this, because think about it, my main lever, the one thing I really have to do to get people, which is traffic, to my landing page, is making YouTube content, the thing I've been doing for over 10 years, the thing I love doing. I'm just talking about the things I'm interested in, which you already do. You already have, it could be sports, it could be business stuff, it could be crypto, it could be gaming, it could be knitting, it could be fitness, it could be diet, it could be personal development, it could be dating, it could be getting girls, it could be literally just learning how to DM girls. There's guys that do 100K a month with like texting women courses, which is crazy. But it's the thing that you already like learning about, you already like talking about, and you just turn yourself into a business, and you turn yourself into a brand. And what is the aspects of your brand? It's like the 2 to 3 things that you're super interested in that you would be talking about and learning about regardless. And the best thing about YouTube is that you're playing the long game. A lot of these direct to consumer marketing, which is perfectly fine, but you run an ad to someone who's never seen you a day in their life, they're super skeptical, they kind of just hate you because they're having to watch an ad before they can click on something else or before they can scroll through something, and you have to try to convert them, a cold person who has no idea who you are, into a paying customer that could give you $50, $100, $1,000, $200, $2,000, $5,000. That's so much more difficult. That's so much more effort than if you play the long game. If people are watching your organic content on social media, they're going to like you by default. They're going to trust you by default. Therefore, as long as you're not a scumbag and you're selling something that's of decent value, which is really just teaching something to get them some kind of desired outcome, that's marketing 101. You're just delivering on a desired outcome. Especially if you're selling to someone, if your ICP, here's the hack right here. If your ICP is a version of yourself, we could just say old self, then you already know what to teach. It's like, well, what did I wish I knew a year ago, 2 years ago? What did I wish I know? I'm really into, oh man, I'm a basketball. I love talking about basketball and athleticism and stuff. And man, I just added 20 inches to my vertical in the past couple of years. What was the main things I learned that helped me jump higher? Okay, cool. I can make a jump higher course and help people. And maybe instead of taking 2 years, it takes them 2 months to jump higher. And the reason I call it the long game is because I can track people, because I use Kajabi, link in the description. It's literally the best platform for selling digital assets. Also, if you use my link, it supports me, but I've been using Kajabi since 2022. I can see that people will watch a YouTube video, get one of my lead magnets, which just provides value. One of my lead magnets is a 5-day guided meditation series, and my other big lead magnet is a 30-minute kind of video course on dopamine, how to control your dopamine and leverage it for more focus, motivation, things like that. The desired outcome of my ICP, my ideal audience, which is just a past version of myself. But what I've seen is that people will get that lead magnet, they'll be on my email list, they'll watch my YouTube videos, they'll read some emails, and then it might be 2 months, 3 months, 6 months later, they finally come around because maybe they just needed to trust me more, maybe it just wasn't a priority at the time to better themselves, maybe they simply didn't have the funds, but since they keep watching the YouTube videos and reading the emails, they eventually come back to the digital asset and buying the product. And real quick, before I break down the actual numbers so you know exactly how I got to that figure, there is some nuance to this. You know, if you want to make compelling content, if you want to make compelling marketing material, and if you want to make an actual good product that'll help the desired person, or if you even want to figure out, well, what's my personal brand? Which, real quick, if you want a shortcut to your personal brand, write down 2 to 3 things that are your most interesting things, the things you're most interested in, that you like learning about, talking about. You write them in here, and if they're even semi-related, they can be part of it. But for example, if one of your interests is knitting and the other one is ancient tanks from World War II, maybe your personal brand shouldn't be both. Maybe you want to narrow it down a little bit. But for most of you, for example, with me, it was psychology, philosophy, spirituality, and business. And because I have this overarching personal development targeting people like me, spoiler alert, you're targeting people that have the same interests as you. So for example, Joe Rogan, right? You go and watch a Joe Rogan thing, and maybe you liked Joe Rogan because he had interesting conversations with people, but then Joe Rogan makes you interested in things like the UFC or comedy or aliens or whatever, and suddenly he's made his interests interesting to you. And then you can boil down these 2 to 3 topics into a bunch of subtopics, which is essentially infinite things for you to talk about in your YouTube long-form content. But if you're interested in learning literally every single minute step of knowledge, all my systems I use to make my content, plan my content, to where it's essentially proven content right off the bat. I know it's gonna vibe with the audience. Most of the time I know if a video is gonna perform well or not. But most importantly, it has the underlying psychological ingredients to compel the viewer to take action. I'm not just talking about compelling the viewer to buy your thing, but just to take action on whatever you're recommending them in the video, because unfortunately, humans, we make decisions based off emotion. We don't always use complete and utter logic and reason, even though we like to think we do, to make decisions. You have to learn deep and sometimes dark psychology, a lot of psychological tactics in order to make your videos good, in order to make yourself appealing as a personal brand, to make yourself very likable and authority in your space so they actually trust you. Honestly, you should probably check out Audience Alchemy, because I've spent the past 7 months putting all these systems, all this knowledge into super easy to digest masterclass, essentially, with a mastermind on the back end, meaning you're literally in a group chat with me and other students, and we do weekly calls and all things like that, to take you from literally a random person, even though I know you're pretty similar to me, into a strong, undeniable personal brand. And then from that personal brand, you create compelling content. And then from that compelling content, you make your business, your info business, selling digital assets. I teach the whole thing at Audience Alchemy. I'm going to put a link in the description, or you can DM me on Instagram. Depending on when you watch this, it might be out. It might be you have to get on the waiting list. But if you DM me on Instagram, I might let you in early. But enough of that, all right? You want to hear where the fuck that $10,000 came from, right? Oh no. Did I gotta lick it? Oh, I had to lick it. But now it's all smudged. So let's actually break down the products, the digital assets that I offer, so you know where all this came from. First of all, we have Mental Mastery. This is my flagship personal development course. This is the thing that allowed me to stop working regular jobs and freelance stuff, because once I launched this, because I know the things I know and I improved it over time over the past year, it allows me to have a full-time income doing what I love. Mental Mastery is currently $395, although transparently I should up the price. We also have Mental Mastery Mentorship. This is something you could do. You could take your regular digital product, for example, if it's a course or something like that, and if you add coaching to it, you can charge way, way, way more, because your time one-on-one is worth way more than them watching pre-recorded videos you made. So for that, I charge $14.95. This is a little more advanced, don't worry about this, but I do have a low ticket offer called Conscious Catalyst. It's a 30-day guided meditation series. Meditation is what really was the catalyst for my personal development and mindset shift and mental health, and it really changed my life. So I actually took a part of Mental Mastery, which was just the 30-day meditation guide, made it its own product for $55, and people buy that. And finally, because I am soft launching Audience Alchemy, I let a couple people in early before it was fully finished at $14.95 as well. But I will say 1,000 of the 10,000 actually came from what I haven't really talked about, ad revenue. This is literally just the ads that play on your YouTube videos. You don't have to do anything. It just, YouTube pays you to make content that gets views on its profile platform. So in that 30-day period, we have 1, 2, 6. Okay, so when I was adding these up, I accidentally only counted the first page of the transactions, not 2. That's why the numbers are off. I can show you the other page here. Let me cover those emails. Yeah, I forgot to count all of these. So I will screenshot this and put it on the screen. So that's why the math ain't mathin', and then it added up to that final 9,000 figure. Plus $1,000 that I made off of ad revenue, which added up to, what is that, 10, 1, 7, 4. In a 30-day period, breaking down the magical accidental 10K. And I say accidental because this is like, I'm selling stuff I made a long time ago. I'm not straight up doing it. I'm just kind of chilling, making my YouTube videos, things like that. And it just kind of happened. I wasn't aiming for this goal. To be transparent, I've just been aiming with finishing Audience Alchemy fully so I can actually launch it, because that's going to blow this number out of the water personally. If you want to see it in that 30-day period from July 19th to August 19th, there's that cool number plus the 1K of ad revenue. I'll put a screenshot if you want. I tried to make this as simple as I could, but even if it still sounds complex, trust me, if I can do it, it's not that complex, because I don't like adding unnecessary complexities into my life. And what I can't iterate enough is that, you know, some people, they might flex 20,000, 30,000, 40, but this was just made kind of passively over things I've made months, in Mental Mastery case over a year ago, while I'm just uploading my YouTube videos. And you know what? Sometimes I go 2+ weeks without even uploading a video because of life happening and whatnot, and I'm still making sales from videos I made 5, 6, 7 months ago. That's the other thing that's magic about YouTube, is that if you make a banger of a video, it will be evergreen. It will keep getting views, and it will keep sending people into that funnel that we drew up earlier. So once again, if you've made it this far, clearly this is something you're actually interested in. Clearly you relate a lot to me. You are very similar to me, and I would love to help you do the same. If you're interested in hearing about Audience Alchemy, you can shoot an email to the email on the screen right now. We can hop in a call. You can DM me on Instagram on the screen right now, or you could just wait for it to launch, but it'll cost more than if you get in early. But that's it. If you're feeling inspired, comment what you'd make videos about if you started making videos. That's it. Bye-bye.